everyone, my name is Shelby and this is the YouTube series where I reveal what's inside these mystery pottery molds I found on Gumtree. Hello and welcome to part 27 of the reveals, and this is the last one of the batch I did before my holidays. So it's a triangle shaped mold and on the bottom it says G239 and then on the front it says Georgie's Bulldog and I thought it was a bulldog, but I didn't read that it says seal initially, so I'm interested to see what this one is. I think that one says 1983. I'm pretty certain anyway. And opening it up, it appears to be a little seal, which is quite different from the other things. And going off the mold from last week, a very sea animal theme from where I'm pulling from the pile off the shelf at the moment. So this has been very interesting in contrast to the sort of more cottage fairy garden-esque style pieces. So maybe this came with the shell vase, I don't know. Anyway, so I pour it up, tip out the excess, and I open it up, and the seal inside is actually a lot more realistic than I anticipated. It's got beautiful little flippy paw things. I don't know what they're called. I'm not a seal expert, but it's got all the texture for the fur, and even like the mouth and the eyes is really like accurate, I would say. Like it looks like a real seal. So this one's kind of a bit nerve-wracking for me to paint, because a bit like the birds from another reveal is, do I go like the realistic route and try and make it as realistic as a real seal, or do I sort of take a really abstract approach and just do something really fun like flowers all over it like I usually do? Or it was a bit of a challenge to figure out which route I wanted to go down. I think with seals I knew that it would always kind of look alright, because when seals are wet they've got that really glossy shiny fur, so when I add the glaze at the end, no matter what I do, it will sort of look like it's sort of come straight out of the water and it's sitting on a rock, or it will look almost realistic just by that texture of the shiny gloss glaze. So I decided to make it hard on myself, instead of just doing one again, I've decided to do 4 different designs. The first one is a rainbow seal. So I'm doing the rainbow colors and sort of splodging the colors on to sort of give this like water pastel-y, really soft coloring, and then I'm mixing each color up to sort of blend them. So starting with the red, I mix the red with the orange to mix them like middle color, and then I add the orange. So it goes red, a mix of orange and red, orange, and then I continue that for the whole process. So it sort of has this ombre merge. I've done it before. I really like doing it. It's just a nice, really simple, fun way to add color. And then with this seal, I added the details to the face. I love working with underglaze because you can mix them and match them, and they're sort of more predictable in their coloring, so you know how it's going to sort of come out. You rarely get a surprise result unless you sort of complemented different colors where they shouldn't really have complemented, and that's just color theory stuff more than anything. And sometimes the colors do come out a bit more vibrant, so sometimes it's a bit hard to match up your color theory exactly accurate with the underglaze, but it's still rather close. So with the second seal, I'm also doing it with an underglaze, and I decided that my biggest regret from the crab last week was that I did flowers instead of like a coral covered crab. So I was like, I'm going to do the coral covered piece this week. So I sketched out some little coral designs, and it's sort of going to be like the base of the seal. All the corals are sort of going to be growing from the base of the seal to the top of the seal. So I've added with the palette that I used from the rainbow seal, I wanted to use it up, so I've just used that palette to fill in this seal, so I didn't have any wastage. So that was really fun because I was sort of using colors that I didn't I haven't always used, and a few of them were mixed up from doing the ombre effect. So it was almost a bit of a challenge using colours that I don't usually use and sort of breaking my comfort zone in that way as well. So I've never done corals before, so that was a challenge, and also using colours that I don't typically use together to create a piece. But I actually loved doing this. It was such a fun colour pop. It was so delightful to see all the colours to come together. But what I'm going to do is chime out again, because there's a lot of painting of the corals. It was a really nice process to just sort of have fun and try different shapes and textures and combine different elements to sort of make it feel like a really lush coral reef on the seal. So that's a bit of the footage, so I'll let you just enjoy that, and then I'll come back in when it's time for the other two seals.
It's hard when you don't get the time to do the things you gotta do. Always moving forward, always on the go. I hope you take a moment to take it slow. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Baby, take a break, it'll be okay. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Know sometimes that it doesn't make sense. It's even harder to comprehend. It's a long night. Say goodbye, then hello. We came here from nowhere, going towards the unknown. Let me be the one to ease your pain.
Okay, it's time to do the other two and glaze the two that I've already painted. So a bit like the mould from last week, I've done two with underglaze and then sealed them with a clear gloss glaze. And then I'm doing two with a glaze mix. So the first one I'm painting here is a sort of browny tone that has, when it fires right, it has like pops of blue through it. So I thought that this would be really nice to tie in with sort of like your rock pool-esque beach escapes. So it's got that sort of browns of the rocks and the blues that complement the water and the sky when you go to the beach. So with that one, I painted everywhere except for the eyes and then added sort of a little bit of brown detail, and I made the brown pupils on all of them really big because the seals have those really like doe eyes, like the really big sweet eyes. So I wanted to make sure that there was like really minimal white so it looked as sort of close to the real deal as possible. And I'm hoping that it doesn't look creepy, but we'll just see how it comes out. The other one I did was a turquoise. Everyone's going to laugh at how I say that now. A turquoise blue. I can't say it, and everyone makes fun of me in my household where I say it. So that one is hopefully going to come out this really lovely wash of a light sort of creamy blue, and I've done it sort of patchy so that it sort of goes into the grains of the hair, and I'm hoping that it will look really good. And you can probably hear the undertone of my voice that it didn't exactly come out how I wanted these two to come out. Anyway, that was what I was expecting. So I popped them all through the kiln, and they went through a glaze fire, which transforms that glaze into another color through the heat transformation. And I opened the kiln up the next day, and look, I wasn't the most impressed, but they still came out all right. Let's start from the one we painted first. So the rainbow seal came out so cute. I really like it. It's not realistic at all. The eyes did come out really good, I think. Like, I don't think they're creepy, but that's because I did it. Maybe you think they're creepy. But it was really hard with that shape and the face to sort of make it look realistic as a rainbow seal, because I've never seen a rainbow seal. But I think that the merging of the colours was really sweet and really artistic and a pop of colour. I absolutely love how the coral seal came out. It is such a vibrant, beautiful detail piece. All the corals in different colours really complement each other in this really technicolor, lots of mix match way, and I think it just truly represents what it feels like when you do go snorkeling and you see all those colours and different organisms and fishies and shells and all of the different sea life sort of living together in harmony, despite their differences. So I really love that. The next seal is the one I wanted to paint with a brown and blue undertone, and it looks like a poo. Like, from behind, it looks like a poo. And like, I'm not impressed. My intention was there, but it just didn't work out, and that's okay. Like, I really like some of the soft sort of tanny colours, and then I love where it's got some darker colours. And I really wanted this blue to pop more throughout the whole piece, but it just didn't land. Like, it didn't land at all. But that's a learning curve. I won't use that again on a piece that kind of looks like a poo from behind either. Sorry for all the potty talk, but it just didn't come out. The blue one, I'm not going to say what type of blue it is because I've already embarrassed myself enough. It came out rather nice. I think it just needs to be thicker. I think by going streaky, it just makes it look a little bit distracting. it takes it away from the piece having the streakiness, and I really wanted more of that sort of pops of bubbly blue on the fin that you can see there. So I took them to the beach because I always love taking them out, and they did look really cute on the rocks. They look really sweet. They look cute as a cluster. I'm not sure what type of decor you would actually use these for though. Maybe I could turn them into little bud vases and have like a little hole at the top where you could put a little bud in, or I don't know, maybe you've got some suggestions on what they could be for. Maybe they just exist just because. Make sure to let me know in the comments what you think, and like and subscribe for part 28.